The sound's coming in okay right now. Trying to get my things situated here. Trying to get the mic close to my face so we don't have audio issues. I've had it stated to me in the past that like my game audio will be really loud, but my mic audio won't be very loud. And I think that's just because my voice isn't very loud. Or at the very least my voice is of lower register, so it's harder for the mic to pick up on it, but you know, I look at this picture in like this location and I have like, man, what a beautiful man. Anyway, but like I have this location in my D&D campaign called the Tower of Ages, and it definitely looks like that place. That clock tower right there. Like, in some ways it's a pity to my other people who like, you know, who are in my D&D campaign, which, mind you, we just essentially finished up our third arc. You know, and maybe I'll talk about that a little bit as we're playing here, but like I have this whole long-running, like, time-themed storyline going on. And there's this location called the Tower of Ages. And it's essentially where, like, time goes to be rewound because they're all in a giant, like, cycle. That like, you know, happens over and over again. Kind of like a simulation, I guess you could say. But, they have this one location called the Tower of Ages, and it definitely looks like the clock tower in the opening of this game. So, like, we just finished our Arc 3 on here. So anyway, I'm back here to play this game again. I actually even thought about playing this, like, last, like, weekend, like, Thursday. Like, I thought about it, but then because I didn't have to nanny last week, so I actually had more free time. Although I also had a lot more writing to do because, like I said, I was finishing up the essentially doing the finale arc for our campaign that's been going for a couple years now. Who do I have? Okay, I did you and I did you. So I have her. I'm pretty sure I just did hers. Like, I'm pretty sure I did the original 3. So I have him. I think he's cool just because, like, some people say, like, he doesn't look at all like the original guy, but when I look at the artwork of the original guy, I'm like, he just looks like a generic pirate. So I'm kind of like, even if you may not like the redesign, but I'm like, if the original design is extremely generic, then I'm like, well, then neither of them are batting very high. And then I have her, who is infamous in this game. Don't know who the heck she is. She's just infamous in this game for being kind of a busted character, as well as having the most, I'd say this politely, like, weeaboo storyline ever. Like, the storyline for her is just so ridiculous, and I'm like, I don't even know who the heck you are, but it's funny. Anyway, so we're probably going to do this guy's story first. He's the one that sounds like Hades from, like, the Hercules movie. Anyway, so just to briefly get started here before I start playing. So I did think of playing this last Thursday. I was just tired. And I had a lot of writing to do, admittedly. I was doing the second round of reviews for my fiction class, and then I had some discussion boards to do. And then I was busy writing stuff for the essentially finale of our Arc 3, like a 3-year, 4-year, maybe even 4-year long campaign at this point. Which I think I wrote a lot, and I planned a lot, and I did it to maybe the best of my ability. I still don't know if that was good enough for my group, or if it was what they were expecting. I still fear I made it way too hard for them. But, like, I did a lot of writing for, like, essentially 2 days straight. And that was after I was doing all my writing homework. And then even after the session was done, I had more writing homework to do. So, like... Sorry, I knocked my SB on there. I didn't mean to whack the microphone. But, I was doing a lot of writing, so I thought about playing this game just to kind of unwind. But by the time I actually found myself free, it was like we had to go out to shop or something like that. And by the time I got back, it was like 8 or 8:30, and I never got up to go and, like, do it. So here I am, gonna play through it again. Unlock a few more character stories. End goal being being able to get to Aeon's story, which is again the whole reason I own this game. $20 for literally just a singular character that only exists in this game in the entire like Castlevania canon. Let me send a chat message real fast. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the guy in the opening, the guy with the white clock. That's the other thing that I'm like, that would be interesting if like any of my D&D players played here. Besides the fact that like, you know, a lot of locations are inspired by this game. Like, I got this game right around the time when I had just started that campaign. That's how the characters I have known as the conductors became so like, you know, they were pretty vague in the beginning, but they draw from two inspirations. Like, one I've said before is the Subway Masters on Pokemon Black and White. But the other source of inspiration is this game. Like, the Tower of Ages is definitely the clock tower in this game. In fact, the time void, like, that is in this game is definitely what I imagined for, like, the final level for my campaign, if we ever actually get to the final arc. I don't know if he'll ever get there. I might just have to be like, you know, a story I tell them later, but that and the fact that the conductors are very much based off of Aeon in this game. Like, behavior-wise, outfit-wise, weapon-wise, like, it's just like a merging of those two characters, you know? So, the black and white idea I had for my conductor characters was based off the Subway Masters, but their whole vibes initially, when the conductor was a singular character, was very much from Aeon in this game. Anyway, I don't think I have any extra outfits unlocked, do I? That one's fine, but I kind of like the green one better. Like, a lot of people think that, like, this is overdone. It doesn't look like the original guy, but again, like I said, the original guy looks like just a pirate. So I'm like, I don't know. I think this design's pretty cool, honestly.
Good choice, if I do say so myself.
Like, yeah, I understand it's not for everyone, but I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like the whole spinning blades and bandages look. Maybe just because I like gothic stuff. Like, this location right here, this is definitely what I imagine being my final boss for, like, my campaign.
Right on time. Welcome to the Time Rift.
Time what? The hell you talking about?
This is where you'll find what you desire. But first, there are many trials you must pass.
Desire. Sounds like I ain't got a choice.
My name is Aeon. Shall we begin the first trial?
Now you just gotta remember how the controls work in this game. Okay. Remember, that's the basic attack. Okay, so that's how I do the long range attack. Okay, give me a chance here, dude. I do remember there being something about how, like, depending on which direction you're pushing, it changes your attack. So I was looking up online where I'm like, I think I'm definitely missing something with this. Like, I don't think I'm necessarily bad at this. I just think I'm not activating the attacks correctly. That one's the guard. I remember that. Thanks. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot which one was the dodge button. I was like, I'm like, R, what was R? R is jump. This one's the dodge button. Okay. I kept hitting the the jump button being like, why am I not dodging? I'm like, no, that's not the jump button. That's why. Which one's the guard breaker? Oh, there it is. I knew it was there.
What do you think? Like what you see? Huh?
I like that I like won that by like this much HP.
The road is now open. Search for that which you long for.
Like all the stuff about Aeon, like his dialogue, the way that he always seems to know a little bit more about you, but he always has this kind of like almost like impish personality. Like that was literally the template for the conductors when I originally started them in my first for context. They're like these magic train conductors that move through time and space. In my campaign for like, you know, D&D. Okay. I looked up and remembered them like, oh, this is how you do it. Okay, so up, B, B, down, A and B. So I have to press them repeatedly? Oh, I guess that would make sense. So I have to hit it. I guess I get a different special depending on how long I hold down A. Yeah, up plus A and B. I got that one. B. Okay. X is the special button. X is the special attack. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. If she didn't hit me immediately, that'd be nice. Okay, I think I got...
Accept your fate.
He does have a cool special, too.
It's done. What do you think? Like what you see? Huh?
Like, does anyone else think he sounds like Hades from Hercules? Sounds like Hades from Hercules to me. I mean, but that particular voice actor has a very distinct voice.
You ain't changed at all. I'll put some color in those pale cheeks of yours.
Algard?
But once we were comrades, I will not hold back.
That's the other interesting thing. Thinking about the Castlevania anime, which is, again, I've mentioned before, I played no Castlevania games besides this one, and my knowledge of it literally extends to the anime in, like, a retrospective video. Like, I don't have, like, a ton of working knowledge about it. I have mostly osmosis knowledge from, like, you know, online. Okay, come on, dude. There we go. But, like, the, most I do know is, like, again, the anime, which, animation to be more precise, but, gosh, I cannot get, this guy has no defense. He's fast, but he has, like, no defense. He takes hits so easily.
Your skills are not what they were.
Yeah, I know. His attack patterns are fun, he takes damage very fast. But, in the animation, it covers the essentially what's the beginning of the timeline for the Castlevania games, which is actually the third game, from what I understand. That's where the first like fight with Dracula happens, or at least the most iconic one is. But so so essentially it covers the original like Trevor and Sypha and Alucard, who's the one I'm fighting right now, who fight against Dracula, right? And so the idea is that he's a hunter, the you know, like the last of the Belmont clan or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it went. But the early episodes I honestly did not remember as much about, because they're it definitely gets better as it goes on. Okay, I got close that time at least.
Apologies, but I cannot.
But essentially, so it follows the course of the games a little bit, and also kind of borrows from some other games. I mean, it's an animation, so obviously it takes some liberties. It can't include everything the game has, and obviously it does change some things in order to make like a good storyline for a TV show. And also, it didn't have a lot of episodes in the beginning. Like the first season, I think is 4 episodes, technically speaking. But okay, turn around, dude. I hate when I attack and it goes in the opposite direction. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. There's that one combo I did that did really well. I just can't seem to figure out how to hit it right. But essentially, so like the idea is that the animation is about like Trevor, who's the Belmont. He's the hunter. Like his clan's wiped out. He's kind of like, you know, the old grizzled one who's gone bitter to the world, and he's a drunk and everything like that. But he's also like the only thing, like when Dracula decides he's gonna like destroy all of humanity, he's kind of the only hope they have, because his family's whole thing was hunting creatures of the night, namely vampires. So he's like, they're like, yeah, he knows like how to fight these things, but he also doesn't really care anymore. So then you have Sypha, who's a mage. I've already done her story, but and so, you know, she's a little kind of like the more like hope for humanity out of the trio. And then they meet Alucard, who's like, you know, Dracula's son. So like gives them a little bit of a fighting advantage, because he's technically, you know, he's half human, but he's also a creature of the night too. So he has a lot of, haha, knocked him out of the ring. So he's you know, he's very powerful too. Not to mention, you know, again, being Dracula's son makes him like obscenely powerful. But so the three of them are going to stop Dracula, you know, because he's trying to destroy all humanity. But from my understanding, there was actually 4 in that initial game, which is where.
Me, not enemy.
Fine with me. Hey, big man. Ever been in love?
Love? What love? Love tasty?
Love ain't a snack, genius. Here, why don't I show you? Come on.
Ready?
But apparently that's that like there was actually 4 protagonists in that game, because you have Alucard, Sypha, Trevor, and Grant apparently. But for some reason people were like, why didn't they include him in the show? I'm like, well, probably because it's easier to have 3 protagonists. It's kind of the same reason, like, you know, it's easier to write a trio half the time, because then you know, they kind of balance each other off very well, and it might have made it feel a little unbalanced, because then you have three males to 1 girl. And also there was a lot of other things that they were covering the show, because it wasn't just about the game. It was actually, there was some stuff that they pulled in from the only one I know off the top of my head is Symphony of the Night, because I know that's where Alucard's story is from. But like, gosh.
Love is fighting. Then me understand love.
This guy just has no defense, so I have to be careful. I keep getting hit. I will admit, his one basic attack is really nice, because it kind of like knocks off things. This is why I found frustrating when I was fighting him, is that, like, he has his one attack, like, really can, like, knock you. You're not paying attention. Got him. But so, like, some people are wondering, like, why he wasn't kind of omitted. And maybe he is in the animation somewhere and just not easily recognizable. But, like, again, his original design, apparently from the game, looks essentially like the very generic pirate, like, guy in essentially, like, you know, like, head bandana and, like, in a blue outfit. It's like looking at the first generation of, like...
Love's war, pal. If only I'd fought for her.
I think that his deal is, like, he has, like, Is he the one that has a crush on Sypha, but ultimately she goes with Trevor? Or is that a different character? Again, I watched the retrospective of this entire series at some point, so my knowledge is very basic.
Ready to see my specialty?
One of the legendary three warriors. A worthy adversary indeed.
Ready?
I also like how, like, when I'm playing as Simon, I have a pain in the butt trying to fight him, but then when I'm, like, playing against him, he's like, oh, now he's capable. Okay, I was trying to collect that thing, thank you very much. Trying to do my air specials, I just can't seem to get the timing on them right. And that's also why I'm not generally good at fighting games in the first place, is that I just don't have great timing. It has to do with me being, like, kind of on the twitchy end. It's the same reason why I don't necessarily, like, in spite of the fact, like, I can do very detailed work, like art and crochet and stuff like that, I do not have steady hands. Like, I think there's definitely a difference between, like, having precision and, like, having, like, you know, good reflexes. So I'm like, I'm just not good at fighting games because I don't...
This whip. It's not easily defeated.
So I just don't have the best, like, reaction time. That's why I'm better at strategy games. Because thinking my way around a problem, or overthinking my way around a problem, is definitely more my style, but, like, trying to do things fast? No. That's why I can never do platformers either, because usually they require, like, some stupid amount of, like, reaction time. Okay, really? I hope that you can hear me just bounding on the keys right now. And I'm like, this is from what I heard, the thing, since this is an old Wii games, it's working at 30 frames a second, which isn't necessarily like a quality thing. Apparently there's something that, like, fighting games, like the faster frame rate makes it so, like, they react faster or something like that. Again, I know nothing about, that's probably actually why I can enjoy this game, is that I know nothing about fighting games outside of, like, Super Smash Bros. And, like, if you want to count the Warriors series, like, this Warriors spin-offs is, like... Okay, I got stuck behind that stupid crystal. But, the Warriors spin-off games, I guess you can count those as fighting games. I'm like, yeah, the most my fighting games experiences is the Super Smash Bros. And that's, like... And even then, I'm not, like, good at it. It's just, like, I played it, you know? I might be good enough to beat, like, my ceilings, but definitely not anything that's, like... I will say the one thing he does is that he's good at clearing distance. The problem is just, like, I wish I had a better, like, reaction time. Because, like, there's certain things I'm like, yeah, if I knew these combos, I'd probably be fine. Okay, that's just rude. That's all the things that I'm like, I can never get the projectiles to land where I want them to go. I'm at least getting closer this time. Before when I was doing this, I was just dying outright all the time, but like at least now I'm like, well, I'm getting them in low HP. The thing is like,
from my old friend. This will not stand.
I will show you the might of power.
Which just actually makes me feel kind of bad for the guy in a way, where I'm like, you know, especially with like the new animated series and stuff like that, it's like, you hear about the other 3 legendary warriors with like, you know, Trevor and Cypher and Alucard, but you don't hear about this guy. He sounds like just a regular dude who's just like, I'm helping because I can. See, I actually was able to get the guard breaker move to work reliably there, so I actually was able to win that time. I keep trying to do the guard breaker, but the thing is, like, you have to also press, like, the control stick in a certain direction while hitting, like, 3 buttons at a time, so I,
Right. You ready to see my
half the time I'm not using the move I intend to use.
ready?
This is where I just fight the enemies. Alright. Okay, I really hate enemies with projectiles because that's just annoying. See, I can't. The thing is, his dodge is a jump. Most other characters dodge by like sidestepping. His dodge is a jump, so it has an arc. So that I try and dodge. Half the time I'm jumping into the attack. Like, he has a lot of movement range, but sometimes that's actually not very helpful.
Seen one as quick as me before.
And again, the biggest thing about him, like, I like his attack pattern. It's just he's got like no defense, so like he loses HP very fast. So it means it does not take much to get him, like, down. Okay. Doing okay so far.
Why can't this scrungly bandage guy take a hit? It might be because he's a scrungly bandage.
I know why he can't take a hit, I'm just saying that he can't. That doesn't change the fact that he can't.
Why can't this little zombie-like skeleton take a punch?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying that that's the reality of it. Okay, this guy turns way too fast for how big he is. No, this guy. Like, look how fast he turns. Come on. Like, in the arena so small, this particular arena, as opposed to like the one with the crystals on it, like this arena so small that I'm like, I literally trying to get on the other side of him, and he immediately turns and whacks me, and I'm just like,
This game is just so death note, and
I know. Like,
I
when
know it's super from Castlevania, but it's such a good vibe. It's so like
that's the real reason that a lot of people like hated this game, was that they're like, it doesn't look like Castlevania. I'm like, oh, honestly, is that the worst thing in the world though?
Death Knight's art style isn't my favorite style in the world either. But this is like so good, you know?
Like, I just love like this art.
So beautifully.
That's why I'm like, I think the people who can love this game are not Castlevania fans, which is ironic. But I'm like, I think the people who can really love this game are the ones who like don't look at it as like, this is my Castlevania game. Like, no, just as this is a weird little gothic fire. Okay, can you guys? They're literally hitting me. Their attack patterns were hitting off. So like one would hit me with the fireball, then the other one would hit me with the fireball, and they just kept juggling me. And I'm like, guys, come on. And the guy just immediately hit me. Come on, move, dude, move. Go that way. That's the other thing, is that he has good movement speed, except for when I'm like, no, don't go that way. And I run right into the attack. I mean, to be fair though, that's kind of how like Sheik works in a way in like Brawl, where you're like, sometimes it's great, and other times you're like, and there I went flying off the edge of the screen, great. Like sometimes the mobility is nice, and other times it's like, no, I just feel uncontrolled. Also, why are these mermen and they're shooting fireballs? Shouldn't they be shooting like, I don't know, swamp goo or something? Like why are they breathing fire on me? Call them demons. Like why are they mermen? Like you could not do this if you were in your natural habitat. Because a merman wouldn't be able to breathe fire underwater. And also they're like hopping around, which is kind of, again. Come on, do your long range one. There it is. Run! How is it every time I want you to do the combo up close, you do the long range option, and now when I'm trying to do the long range option, you're like, no, let's do the up close combo. I'm like, come on, bro. There's a lot of running and throwing my little knives at him.
That's all I get back there. And I'm gonna put a little Kermit on your And also the way, I hope you know, the way the camera is angled, it has the little squishies in the bottom corner of the frame, and it's so cute.
Nice.
Like the ones on top of the monitor. It's so cute. See, okay, I was gonna say, he's the kind of person that definitely seems like a long range attacker.
He's also just like a fast.
What do you think? Like to see? Huh?
Oh, I love the little Kermit.
So that's gonna be the final.
That's great.
I'm gonna put that in a frame. Kermit on a little
Sypha.
Who are you?
Her collar is so weird.
Ah,
It's very nice.
so you're from a time before you met me or Trevor.
I don't know
What are you
this guy.
mumbling
See,
about?
this is a good man.
Who are you?
Alright, you ready for this? I'm your future husband.
Don't be ridiculous. I'll see you prove it then.
Yeah, that.
Obviously a joke.
Yeah.
Because she marries Trevor, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I think. If I remember correctly, the two of them fell in love with Sypha, but ultimately she marries Trevor. Again, I think that's what it is. It's been a while since I watched the retrospective that explains all the lore of this game, so I'm like, I remember correctly, like, they both...
I like how strong he is.
But-
And just the pacing of the speech is so, like, GameCube. It just reminds me so much of Sonic Adventure. So, like, Dreamcast GameCube era of, like, the very clear distinctions between the Japanese...
I know! Like, the Japanese...
Very clearly...
Although, you gotta admit, like, for a fighting game, actually the voice acting is not bad in this. Actually, I'm like, I've heard way worse out of much higher budget games.
That's why I think it's funny that you can just see...
That's why I'm like, that's why I'm like, how can you really hate on this game? It's doing way more effort than it honestly needed to. Yes, because she keeps hitting me from a distance.
Never choose you.
And I'm trying...
Never choose you. Dang, girl, that's a little bit rough.
Well, that's the thing I actually think is cool that they do in this game, even if I don't know the characters very well, is that they do the Pokemon Master things, like, they're from different points in time, so, like, Sypha in this case, this is before she even comes into the game, so she doesn't know Trevor or Alucard or anyone yet. She's just here being like, what the heck, I'm in a Gothic castle?
What's happening?
But, like, you know, Alucard, for instance, is from, like, the very end of the timeline, so, like, you know, he's already gone through this whole thing, like, 15 times, and he's like, wow, I've already seen Trevor and his descendants, and now I'm back here. Like, they're from different points in time, so, like, they aren't all working within the same memories, and I think that's pretty cool. So some of them are like, you know, like, the whole Thanos is like, you ruined my life. I'm like, I don't even know you.
I don't really realize. I wasn't even there. I don't realize. I wasn't even there.
See, when I used her, she didn't nearly attack this fast. But of course, when it's an AI, then that's when they have a better attack string. I can never land that one. Well, I got close that time.
If that's the extent of your power, I would never choose you.
Next, I have to do the one that's all about boobs after this.
Boobs?
Yes.
That's booby time? Where can you go? You said you were doing booby time, right?
Yeah, well, you've said the same thing we played this the first time.
It's booby time, right?
Yeah, the little girl who's just complaining about how the fact that, like, literally every woman has more chest than she does. I'm just like, it's something like, you ruined the character. I'm like, yeah, maybe, but, like,
That makes me laugh because I don't know.
yeah, I'm like,
So for me, I'm giggling.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you can enjoy this game if you have no knowledge of Castlevania. Because I'm like, I think it's funny but I don't also know what the characters are like normally, so, you know.
That's the extent of your power.
So the fact that she's going up against every character and be like, aw, hers are bigger than mine too.
I also have large bazoingas.
It's just like, is it probably a total, like, you know, mockery of the original character? Probably, but
Am I laughing?
yeah.
Are you giggling? Hee hee hee. Yes.
But, like, you don't know who they are. It's like, you have no stakes, so you're like... Do your air thingy. There we go.
So there's like frames of this picture on this pane of glass. So I'm gonna try and get it off and use it to my.
Okay, I keep sliding past her instead of hitting her, and I'm like, you're not that small of a hitbox. Okay, can you stop doing that, please, ma'am?
Yes.
I'm actually a painting conservator.
Okay, that was...
That's the extent of your power.
The problem is that, like, the camera sometimes shifts around, so then I'm just staring at her instead of looking head on. I'm like, I can't see myself because all these explosion effects make it so I cannot see my characters. Well, I'm not winning this round for sure. She just keeps hitting me. I'll be like, where I'm getting it, and then I'll be like, nope, definitely don't have it.
Sometimes I feel like that one scene on Muppets Most Wanted where he goes, the love is dreamers and cheese.
If that's the
You know?
extent of your power,
Sometimes
I
I just
would
feel
never choose you.
I don't really care for it as a movie, but it's got a great soundtrack.
You don't care. You don't like Muppets Most Wanted as a movie?
No,
You
it's,
never said it
there-
all this time?
I actually did before, and you had a similar reaction. I just think there's a bit too much filler.
Which one is your favorite Muppets movie then?
And then, I like the first one. Yeah, well, just because it feels like they keep things moving. The other one's like, they do the whole, oh, is it, you know, it's not Kermit, and
Right. Once they get out of the prison, then it does that.
I'm like, there's just a lot of filler in it. Like, that's why, like, the soundtrack, if the soundtrack was the movie's plot, then it'd be great. But, like, there's too much filler in it.
I actually don't think there's too much filler until the last part. Then there's
Well, yeah, and then you do think there is too much filler.
I think
I I didn't say necessarily where it was, but I was like, there is that issue, and the first one doesn't have that issue. So that's why I think the first one's superior, but I don't think the second one's necessarily a bad movie, just I do not prefer it.
The second one I feel like is a more true Muppets movie. The first one I
That's the
feel like is
extent of your power. I would never choose you.
Yeah.
It's like a much more truer to. And I
That-
feel like most Muppet movies have that. Like they have.
Also,
those-
whenever they do that kind of whole, like, you know, either lie revealed or, like, you were replaced with someone else trope, that one went for so long. They should have at least hinted at it earlier than they did.
With Constantine.
Well, the thing is that, like, no one notices at all for... but that's the thing, like, do you need to make the characters stupid, or can you have other shenanigans happen to cover for it?
Well, I feel like the Muppets have always been a bit stupid. I will admit.
But it's just kind of like that's like it may be right to the characters, but I'm like I find those things frustrating because like
I like it because I'm dumb and I like
Well,
to have simple brains.
when you have humans in there, then I have to give it a little bit more credits.
You're too galaxy brain.
But like the biggest thing is like I go in and I'd be like, okay, this is good, but like at a certain point you have to be like, okay, how much longer are we doing this? Or you know. I put it in a bag, so wherever the little plastic bag is I put over there, that's where all that stuff is.
I have a little more.
Come on. Go that way. Okay, she did not have this fast of an attack string when I was using her, let me tell you. It took forever to charge to her moves up. How do they always jump over that?
If that's the extent of your power,
I like how we're at the point where I'm like, I'm not even listening to, like, Melanie's tiny laugh. I'm like, I'm only getting one side of this conversation. Just know that everything I'm saying is right and everything Melanie's saying is wrong.
What the fuck? Actually incorrect.
Ready? Fight!
That won't work. That won't work.
So who is Simon? If Trevor's the main character, who's Simon?
His descendant.
Okay.
He's the one from the very first game, but the beginning of the timeline, well, technically is earlier than that, but the one most people are familiar with is actually the third game. So the first game is actually a little further in the timeline than the third game. They kind of go backwards for a little bit. And they go kind of to the side for a little bit, and then they reboot it. So, you know.
Ready?
This game has not necessarily that confusing timeline, but it definitely didn't go straight. Which is actually fine, but that's why, like, the one that it's not surprising the one they chose for the animation is the third game, because technically that's where the timeline starts, so if they wanted to go forward in the timeline, then, like, it would make sense to start not with the first game. Nocturne, I believe, is supposed to be the second game, because it deals with Richter, who's, the one in between Simon and, Trevor. And then, I don't remember which one came after that, but... There's always that kind of trio where you have, like, the Belmont character, some sort of magic user, and then probably something supernatural. Well, it is actually a lot of the time. It's just he doesn't always necessarily go by that name because he knows it has, like, people know him like that. So he's usually in most of the games. Just it's whether he like goes by that name or not. Depends on whether he's probably a playable character or not. But like, there's one where like later on, like, you know, Dracula's reincarnation doesn't go in the way it normally does, and he actually like they separate like the dark power from the person, so like his soul reincarnates into a new person who I believe is called like Soma Cruz or something like that. But so like, you know, there's a whole thing of like, oh well, they always need they need somebody into the embodiment of darkness, so now that where's that power going to? And then, you know, like one of the people who helps them is Alucard there, who's kind of just keeping an eye on him, just because he's like, on one hand, I've killed my father like 16 times at this point because this whole stupid reincarnation thing. By the other hand, I would love for you to actually be like a good guy. That'd be great, but at the same time, I'm ready to put you down the moment you show your evil. But like, you know, he kind of just keeps out of the matter until he's actually needed. Because, again, he doesn't really need to, and he's kind of like, yeah, humans got it half the time, you know? It's like, I'm just kind of here as the last resort if they really need it, is kind of his policy over time. Which is kind of like the way he is in this game, where he's kind of like, yeah, I've gone through this a lot of times at this point, kind of just want the whole cycle thing to be over with so I can stop doing this, but... And because then humanity's always in jeopardy, and I just get to see this happen over thousands of years.
If that's the extent of your power, I would never choose you.
Again, when I used her, she was not nearly this useful. Like, I kept getting my things blocked all the times. Yeah, she is, but that's the thing, like... No, but that's the thing, I like played her, and like, I struggled fighting him with her because she did not attack as fast, and I'm like, is that just something? Did they just make her faster because of this? Yeah. I can never land that. Oh, come on. She had like this much HP left. I got very close that time. Yeah, I know.
Well, buddy, this is literally all I have.
Literally. Well, he sounds like a chill dude. Okay. Yep.
I shouldn't have lied.
I mean, I think it shows how much, like, you know, I'm willing to put myself through going through every other character story mode to get to the last character. Like, I think that shows something.
Seen one big as me before.
Even though I clearly am not good at this game. Wolf guy looks really cool. Like, he looks like a Digimon. And now he's wailing me into the wall. Love that. Great. Nice, and I have not hit him at all yet. Okay, I'm not even hitting this guy. Okay, I did manage to get a special this time. It's just so, like, marionette-like. It's pretty cool.
Accept your fate.
Like, that just looks really cool.
It's done. If you kind of make me sick, you get no mercy.
I'm guessing my final fight I have to do is Trevor. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. And this stage sucks.
You ain't seen one quick as me before.
One day man shall live the dawn, without need to fear the darkness.
Her yes, that's Shinoa. She is interesting because, like, the game she's from literally had come out a month before this game launched. So, like, it was actually, like, a cool bit of, like, DLC sort of content, whereas, like, you could connect to the Wi-Fi network and get her character, and she's, like, very, very OP. Like, she's kind of broken. That's why she's very hard to beat. But, like, it's pretty cool that, like, you know, they were like, hey, this character who literally has just been introduced is in this fighting game. Like, I don't have the well, I dislike that some people go and, like, look in the recording notes, like, yeah, he didn't want to make this game. Like, no, I don't see any lack of, like, interest in this game. I just think it wasn't what people wanted at the time, and how many times has that been the doom of a game? Come on. Okay. That attack string of hers is just the most pain in the butt, because there's no time between it. Like, I don't have time to even get off the ground. Like, she hits like 4 attacks in a row, and I don't even have time to get off the ground. Like, I'm still on the ground, dude. Like, oh my gosh. She's just a pain. Every time I have to fight her in a story mode, I'm like, please. And I don't want to fight her. She's hard.
One day man shall look to dawn, without need to fear the darkness.
She sounds kind of like Aigis from Persona 3. Probably because she has, like, no emotions and memories and stuff like that, which is, you know, casual in this world. That's why, like, I like the fact that they're, like, time travel is kind of like the thing where, like, half the people just kind of like, yeah, alright. Because they're like, their world's kind of weird. You're like, oh, you're a time traveler? Alright. Fair enough. Oh, I spend my weekends, you know, killing vampires, so, you know, alright. Like, a couple people question it, but most people are like, alright. I really hate that combo. 'Cause there's, like, no way to break out of it.
The mighty art of Ecclesia.
You ain't seen one quick as me before.
One day man shall look to dawn, without need to fear the darkness.
Apparently, actually, a lot of people came to know her in this outfit in particular, kind of like, you know, the Knights during a Dream design, where not necessarily it was, like, the one people preferred, but just the one that was more easily available. Because, like, you know, people saw this game more than they saw the DS game, so, like, a lot of people came to associate her with this design, even though it's different than the one she actually has in her first appearance. Yeah, it's kind of like how a lot of people, when they get pictures of Knights, they're usually taking the one from Journey of Dreams, even if people are like, oh yeah, that game sucks. I'm like, well, actually, the funny thing is most people actually associate that one. Because that one's the one is the more readily available. Okay, I really am getting annoyed with that sword swinging combo. There's really no way to break out of it. Or at least not for someone like me who has, like, no reflexes and button mashing abilities. I'm sure it sounds like I'm doing a lot just listening to me pound on the keys over here.
Ready to see my specialty?
Behold my gift, the secret art of Ecclesia.
Yeah.
Ready?
How did... that's literally my guard break move, and she dodged around that too? You gotta be kidding me. character is just so OP, and I wish she was not in so many story modes. Like, everyone kind of agrees, like, yeah, this character's broken. But then again, she's not normal. She's not available in the normal player mode, so you have to get her through, like, a Wi-Fi connection thing, so... Like, then why did you put her in so many of the story modes?
Combat is my sole reason for living.
No, it made me really angry with her.
You ain't seen one quick as me before.
I sense great power within me. I will use it to measure my own.
Those are very, like, Bayonetta vibes to her. It's a game I do need to play at some point. Yeah, just give it 30 seconds and I'll be dead. Yep, okay, go ahead.
Thank you. It's been illuminating.
The lava really is just annoying sometimes.
There's so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. I don't read too many numbers.
I honestly don't know if my chat even works or not because, like, I don't see the things
It
half
is,
the time.
We were just talking about it downstairs. We're like, all these people who are like, Edie, stream, and we're like, Edie, we're never gonna log on and watch you stream ever again.
I know. Just for me, myself, and I.
Are there so many songs? Well, on the plus side, summer's coming up in like 2 months, and then I can be back in this game with you. So
I
I
do
think I'd
miss
like
you.
to stream.
I miss you.
I miss my Eevee. Speaking of Eevee, I miss my Eevee. I miss my Eevee. I gotta go.
That's a-
Speaking of you missing me, I gotta go do some stuff downstairs because I got some earring requests I gotta go fulfill. I gotta
Yeah.
go pack this paint, not this painting. I gotta go pack now. Isn't this one so fun?
It's very cute.
Why there's so many
I like it.
signs about rainbows.
You ain't seen one quick as me before.
Alright. I'll be back.
One day man shall look to dawn, without me to fear the darkness.
Honestly, you know, live streaming really is something that you need to have, like, an audience beforehand to even, like, do. So I'm like, I honestly really need to get...
You had all these people being like, Edie, stream, oh, we got some streaming, oh, I'm missing you, stream. And they're like, hey, we're streaming. And they're like, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, honestly, I need to, like, just make them into videos and maybe I can get something out of that.
I enjoy watching you downstairs because then it's like you're playing games in the same room.
Yeah. This is all for you, you and Mom. I really am getting sick of this sword comp. Okay, that was like a new record for how fast that I died. That was like 17 seconds there.
The mighty art of Ecclesia.
Really getting annoyed with that sword combo there. I'm doing this all for my time, guy.
You ain't seen one quick as
I
me
won't. That's
before.
like that shows you how much I like love this dude. That I'm like willing to put myself through so much suffering just to unlock him. Because he's definitely, like, I remember talking with Madeline, like, you know, like, if you had, like, one cosplay that you could do, like, which one would you do? I'm like, probably one of them would be, like, you know, I was thinking about, like, ones I would do from Genshin or stuff like that, but I'm like, when I was reminded of it, I'm like, yeah, if I could do a cosplay of Aeon, I would do that in a heartbeat. I love his outfit so much. Like, I would love to do that. I would even do, willing to do, like, a, more gender-bent version, so I wouldn't, like, could use my own hair. I don't really care for wigs, because I don't know how to use them. But, like, man, I would love to do it, like, okay. Really, getting annoyed, I really hate that sword combo, because as soon as I get caught in it, I can't, like, do anything until she kills me.
The mighty art of
But, like, if I could cosplay in person, I would definitely do him, because, like, I love his outfit. Like, I mentioned before that, like, I made these characters named the conductors for my campaigns. They're like magic train conductors. They go through space and time. Namely, just they have a magic train that can move through time. And I made them for my campaign. They're kind of, admittedly, probably not the best built characters, just because of the fact that, like, you know, Didn't really think it through. Like, as you do often with D&D, you kind of improv and figure things out as you go. So that was definitely a lot of what I did with, okay, that's my guard break move, and she still dodged around it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do then? That's the guard break move for when she guards. What am I supposed to, okay. If you could stop doing that, ma'am, I would appreciate it. Like, look at the attack, like, what am I supposed to do in there? Like, get out of there, like, my gosh, she has that attack string, and I'm just like, I can't do anything about it. I don't know what that was, but...
Thank you.
Oh, I hit the item button instead of the X. Alright. Anyway, point being, I made these characters name the conductors. And so, like, I use them for my campaign. I'm not sure if I... Like, I've had stories in mind for them for a long time. I just don't know if it's what my players wanted. And that's the thing you always have to wonder, like, how far you... Like, obviously it's about the, you know, the players. You want to do what they want, and you want to make sure that they're having fun, because that's the whole reason you're, like, facilitating this game for them. But, like, at the same time, you as the DM also want to have fun, and, like, okay, that was just mean. But, like... So I'm like, I had these, like, stories in mind for them, and so, like, on one hand, I'm like, I want to keep to my story, but she is just a pain in the butt to fight. And I hate that it's always in this it's always in this stage, too. That's the reason it annoys me, so I can't even, like, ring her out to, like, make my life a little easier here. But, I always get stuck on her every single time. I did really good in the first time I fought her, but then she just got me stuck in that stupid combo.
Ready to see my specialty?
But, so, like, I had a certain, like, oh, see, I didn't even get anywhere yet. I have, like, a certain storyline for, like, how I want to do, like, the conductors. And I feel like it might have not been what my players wanted, or maybe I made it a little too complicated. Which, you know, to be fair, is kind of my thing. But, like, sometimes you gotta just be like, on one hand, you know, I want to do what my players would like, but on the other hand, I have to enjoy this myself, too, I think. Okay, come on. Oh, gosh. That sword combo thing she has is so annoying, because it attacks so... There's, like, no room for error there. If you get caught in that, you're just taking the damage. I was trying to dodge out of it, and it just was not working. I'm gonna be stuck on this for, like, the next hour. But I'm doing it for my clock dude. Because I love him immensely, and I want to be able to play as him. And I could just play on my regular file for that, but I want to play through his story mode, and I need to start a new file in order to do that. So we're gonna do this. All for that guy. No matter how many times I have to get beaten by this dumb lady. Okay, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Oh my gosh. You see that sword combo she has? There's like nowhere to... Okay, that was just mean. There's like there's like nothing to do about that sword combo. If you get caught in it, that's just it. You just, like, you're not gonna recover. See, and then she starts off with it. Nice. Glad we're starting off strong. It has like such a wide string that I'm like, where am I even supposed to go? Come on. Do the slide one. There we go. Okay. Doing okay. She died from... I didn't even kill her. She ran into the lava. I will take that as a win. I will take that as a win. She died because she ran into the lava. Man, I love when computer players are stupid. Alright, now I'm... Yeah, now I'm...
Trevor? Brad, it's been too long. Sypha and I sorely missed you at our wedding.
Sorry, old friend. But to see her wed to another.
So, that's the way of it. You judge yourself more deserving of her than I. Prove it then.
Ready? Fight!
This is the one with the stupid lasers. Come on. I was doing okay in the beginning there.
Enough. Stand if your blood still boils, else this matter is settled.
Anyway, and so, like, so I finished up essentially the end of thing for our campaign. And I think I'm, you know, on one hand I felt confident in it, but also at the end, you know, when you're going for a long session, people are getting tired. It's kind of hard to tell, like, if people are just tired and, like, getting hungry and stuff like that, or do not... Okay, that was just cheap. Low blow, Trevor.
Enough.
But, you know, like, you have to wonder, be like, is it just, like, you know, people are getting hungry and tired, or, like, or did they not like that, the way the story ended? Do they feel like I'm disappointed in some way? Like, you know, it's so hard to tell. And, you know, that even goes without the fact that I have issues reading social cues on the normal day. There we go. I can get that guard break generally pretty well if I can, you know, recognize in time that they're guarding. Hey.
Think again. I'll take it.
Okay, I was ahead and then I suddenly died. See what I mean? It's like you miss one combo and the next thing you're just dead. And I'm like, that's why I'm not great at fighting games, because it's so precision based that like you make one mistake and then like you're just dead. Which is fine, like if that's your time of game. I'm not against anyone who likes that kind of game, but I'm like, that's just not my kind of game. I like the room for error to learn and grow off of things, because that's kind of, again, that's just the thing I prefer. I like haptic feedback sort of thing, where I'm like, I can figure out how to win over time. As opposed to like, oh no, I made a bad, not great decision, and now I'm dead. Like this time right now, I'm barely hurt Trevor at all that time.
Enough.
Anyway, but so like, I ended the thing with like, you know, we're gonna do like a recap on this Sunday, and we're gonna, you know, see the wrap up as far as them finishing the final boss. And the thing that was interesting about it is that like, I can never tell if they know like what I'm going for with like I like to make things seem hopeless, but really I always have like 3 safety nets underneath the players. Like, I never ever like been in the position where I want a TPK or intended to have a TPK, or even like there was ever a threat of a TPK. Like, I prefer puzzle fights where it's like, it's not about the damage, it's about like you have to fulfill certain conditions and like maybe a time limit. Like, that's what this boss fight was. Essentially they had like 2 stages of the boss fight, and they like, okay, actually caught him for once. This one's hard to land because you have to like catch it just right. Okay, hopefully this will kill him.
Accept your fate. It's done.
He got killed by the laser. Nice.
I hope you make Cypher happy. I truly mean that. Finally.
I love it when they get killed by the stage hazards.
I accept the soul key. 9 yet remain.
Yeah, I'm doing this all for you, bro. Just difficult as this all is. Alright, who we doing next? Got Golem and Maria. Oh, Malin, what do you think? Should I do the... I got this guy, who's like this big monster guy, who's essentially like, you know, meaning of life and all that. Then I have this girl who's the one that I told you that essentially has like the whole boob storyline. Like, do you have a preference on which one I do? She's also another one that's like really hard to fight with, but then fighting as is always like also equally hard, and I'm just like, I just can't win. Anyway. Alrighty. I guess we'll do hers and get it over with. Has to happen at some point. I'm gonna go with that one because I kind of like the way the owl's like gold now. Very classical magical girl here.
Right on time. Welcome to the Time Rift.
Who are you, mister? What's a time rift?
This is where you'll find what you desire. But first, there are many trials you must pass.
What? I get a present? Okay, I'll take your test.
My name is Aeon. Shall we begin the first trial?
Ready?
Okay, before we do that, let me check what her moves are. Okay, new triple B's, neutral combo. Directional combo, okay. ARP is the jumping attack. A, B directional. ABR. Alright. Oh, she doesn't have nearly as many attacks. Alright.
Not what? Not quite.
Which one's the fire one? I remember that one hit me like a lot of times when I used to fight.
Oh, well done. Beg your pardon.
Obviously, you're always the first one, and I'm usually not high in HP for that. There's the fire one. I know the fire one's her best move, I'm just trying to activate it. Did this one? There it is.
Time's up.
Yeah, this is why I lost the first time.
You must be stronger to find what you seek.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out her combos. I was trying to figure out which one was... She has that one fire combo that always hits me in the face whenever I'm doing this. I'm trying to remember which one that is. Okay, if you could not back me into a corner, that'd be great. The funny thing is, like, I'm struggling with this now. He's so much worse as a boss later on because he's not even using any of his ultimate just yet, and those are the things that are, like, can be a pain in the butt. Come on. There's the fire one. I just can never remember how to do it.
Not quite. Not quite.
It's also because, kind of like Grant's, her attack strings have a lot of movement to it, so if I'm not facing the right way, it takes me a while to get out of the attack. So, like, I can just get cancelled easier. Come on, girl. You need to get out of that second attack. I know. This is this is really good, like, I can't even get past the tutorial boss. You know that it's going to be a great run then. Come on, get the guard move. Yeah. Like, give me the one that breaks their guard. She just takes so long. Like, you see how she, like, lingers in the air for a while? Like, that's fine, but, like, if she doesn't, and I can't land the attack in the right direction, she takes a while to come back down. Also, this is definitely one of those characters that when you're fighting against is an annoying pain in the butt to listen to. He's not even that much harder to do because he holds his guard up a lot longer than most characters do, so it's actually pretty good to guard break him. I just can't get my guard break to go off. That was harder than it needed to be. I kept...
Search for that which you long for.
Like, he's not that hard to do. You just have to guard break him, because that's honestly the only thing you really do, because he holds his guard up a lot longer than most of the characters do, which makes it, you know, pretty easy to counter. I couldn't get her guard break move to work, because it actually, she has a very slow guard break move.
I will do what I must to those who stand in my way. Ready?
Now I'm all the way over here. Come on.
Over here.
See, her guard break is this little spirit she summons, but the thing is, it takes so long to do it that half the time they're out of their guard by then. See, there, I did her guard break thing there, but just, he had already come out of his guard by then, so it wasn't doing me any good. Okay, well that one came in by a hair there.
Now you believe I'm tough?
Trying to grit my teeth as I'm doing this because I'm like focusing. So, oh, we're doing the lava level early. That's interesting. Usually this is a late level.
Sure what's going on, but I'm positive I won't lose.
Think you can match the speed of a wolf?
This guy's really cool. Like, There's definitely a lot of characters in this game that I'm like, I would get a figure of that. If he was in a cool pose, I would get a figure of that. Again, coming in for, like, barely a win there. But, I mean, at least that, you know, it's over quickly then, at least. Okay, I think this is the one where they have, like, the weird dialogue. It should be, at least.
Little girl, are you lost?
What? I'm a little girl. That's it. Let's go.
Why? We've no cause to fight.
Maybe you don't, but I sure do.
No, it must be the next one.
Ready?
It's one of her dialogues. It's really weird. Snow is just very hard to fight. Well, that could have gone worse.
Such passion. I've forgotten what that feels like.
Yeah, I'm expecting to lose a few times against her. She is hard to fight against. Anyway, where was I? So I was doing the final session of my thing, and the thing is that I kind of got out of it is that, like... Oh, I managed to ring her out. Nice. Cool.
Just 'cause you're hot doesn't mean you can be rude.
Hey, I'll take less than 1,001 losses on Genoa's boss fight.
I'd never ever let a twisted freak like you get away.
Me fight to live.
Ready?
If I'm not talking a lot here, it's because I am trying to actually be decent at this game. Yeah, that's not surprising. This guy just is really tough.
Do not want.
Not like he's a tough opponent, but just more like he takes a while to wear down. Him and Dracula are like the heaviest and slowest characters, but it also means that they can take a lot of hits.
Me fight to live.
think it's a cool design character at the very least. You know, it gives like a different, like, you know, fighting style, and the fact that he's like significantly larger than a lot of the other characters in the cast. Okay, where am I? There I am. I'm like, I'm so far away from the camera, I cannot see myself. Are you kidding me? This guy had... He had no HP left. How the heck did he kill me first? That's just rude.
Ready?
Anyway, so the reason I was bringing up my campaign, essentially, like, you know, like, it's coming to the end of the era, and then I'll be taking a, you know, a break for a little while, and kind of just getting my, you know, just, I've been tired lately, so, like, I don't feel I'm putting as much into sessions as I probably should. So it's going to be good to take a break for a little while before I go back and, you know, decide what I'm going to do with the story. But, like, the cool thing is that, like, while I've been doing, like... Okay, dude, rude. While I've been, like, you know, kind of, like, figuring out what I want to do with that, but, like, it's been cool for, like, this fiction class I've been doing, because I was, like, you know, we were supposed to come up with a brand new concept, and so I'm, like, I actually used a lot of the lore and character work that I did for my, campaign for this fiction class, and it's like through all, like, you know, the plotting and character work and stuff like that. I'm like, now I actually have, like, I feel like a good novel concept to use, like, the conductors in.
Ready?
Oh, it's one of these fights. Alrighty, let's do this. But, like, it's nice to be, like, you know, even if, regardless of where the, what I do with the campaign or where it ends or whatever, like that, like, it's nice to know that, like, you know, the conductors who are, like, characters I really enjoy, I'm like, I feel like I actually have a story for them to exist in that isn't just D&D now. And, you know, it'd be nice to actually follow through on a story for once, you know? Okay, that, I figured I was going to be able to get around that. This one is just, like, a pain in the butt, just because I'm, like, this guy just has such range. Like, I can't even move fast enough to get around that. Like, look how big the pillar is for this, like, thing. Like, there's, like, nowhere to go. There's, like, nowhere to dodge. I much prefer when they do it in the other arena that has all the crystals and stuff, because it's a lot easier to see where I'm going. Come on. I see, like, I can't even get out of range in time. You see how far away I am from him when he's hitting me? Yeah, I know. This is just like the worst enemy to face in this arena because there's like nowhere to dodge. Love the setting though. Feels very pumpkin hell. So I can get past the zombies easy enough. It's just a monitor at the end. Go the other way, turn the other way. There we go, girl. Okay, I managed to just kick him in the butt repeatedly, and that's how I killed him.
Now you believe I'm top?
The problem was he kept spawning in front of me, so I couldn't even get around him fast enough to get around in his butt.
Hey! Are you a vampire hunter?
I am. If you are here, you must be one as well.
Uh-huh. They're huge.
Will you stop? These things only get in the way.
How can you say that? Those are a sacred gift!
Yeah, best dialogue ever. Are you a vampire hunter? Yeah, like, her eyes are up there, Maria. It's only weird because it's like another woman. Like, I like the fact they don't have any men ogling women in, like, this game. It's just this one random girl who's just like, man, her boobs are bigger than mine. Like, yes, you're still a child. You might outpace her one day. Don't worry. You're doing fine. Also, the fact that they decided to add that in as like, dialogue in this game. Like, I think that, like, if you want to meet this game on its own terms, you can have a lot of fun with it. It's darn
Sorry. You'll understand when you're older.
darn spike hazards. Sypha is like not a easy character to use when you're using her, but when you fight her, she can be a pain in the butt. It's because like I could never get her spells to actually go off that fast. So I feel like the AI just works faster when it's not player controlled. I'm like, I could never get her to attack that fast when I was playing as her. I was stuck as her for a while. Like I got stuck on a lot of her bosses because I could just not get my attack patterns to go off fast enough. I hadn't even gone up yet.
Sorry. You'll understand.
Anyway, but, like, I think if you're willing to meet this game on its own terms and just be like, you know, this is just some wacky fun. Like, it's a fighting spin-off game made by the artist of Death Note. Like, it has such edgy art style, and it's just doing some, you know, it's just being kind of silly, and that's okay. It's a fighting game. Whoever took the story of a fighting game seriously? So that's why I'm like, when people call this thing as horrible as it is, I'm like, I think you're taking it too seriously then. It's like, what really did this, you know, game do? Like, I think the people who are like, think that this thing is horrible, like, I think that, like, you know, that was your issue.
Sorry. You'll understand when you're older.
A lot of people like attribute this game to like beginning the downfall of Castlevania as a franchise. I'm like, I think that's giving this game way too much credit. Like, it's never always just like one game. It's usually the fandom how they. Wow, I really flew after getting hit by that axe. See, I could always do that attack, and somehow it never worked. Okay, come on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm sure I'll understand everything when I'm older, so let me take a moment for a tea break. And grind my teeth together, which means I probably need to take a moment to breathe. Have some of my calming tea for a minute. When you listen to the sound of the battle axe in the background. I like how all the stages have like a sword ticking to them because you're in a timer. Anyway, how's everyone else's night going tonight? I'm getting kicked around as a magical girl. Who's literally fighting this older woman because she has smaller boobs. How's your night going so far, you know? Thank goodness they have infinite lives in this game, or else this would probably be way more annoying. But like, while getting through the first couple of story modes is like, you know, more taxing, and therefore you feel like a little bit more frustrated, like, after you get past like the first 3 times, and you like kind of stop caring as much, you're just like, you know, you're just kind of primed to have fun after that, because you're like, yep. I'm a random little girl that's using an owl to summon giant fireballs. You know, this is the world of Castlevania, apparently. See, her guard break's not necessarily bad, it's just it takes so long to activate that by the time I actually get to it, they've already broken out of their guard. Like, not like I broke them, like they literally just stopped guarding, so like it's not as effective of a move. Which is like, I like for instance Grant's guard break move is really cool because it's like a teleport move, so you can dodge with it sometimes. But like, alright. Good job. Next.
Right. Ready to see my specialty?
Her entrance move is literally her falling on her face. That's fun, I guess. Okay, I got close on that one.
So slow. Moss I see growing on you?
Hello. They don't rely on sleep. That's okay. Feel free to just hang out for the chill vibes. I'm a small magical girl fighting this other guy with an owl.
You ain't seen one quick as me before.
I'm playing Castlevania Judgment right now. Little gnome fighting game for the Wii. Which I bought off of eBay for 20 bucks. Like 18 years after the game came out, purely because I love the Time guy on the cover. So, every once in a while, I'm just in a gothic mood, and I have to go and see my guy. In order to see him, he's the last character that unlocks. So, in order to play his story mode, I have to literally beat every other character. So, I'm willing to go through so much in order to get him. There's a random squid tentacle there. Okay. The problem is that since it's on a ship that's shaking so much, I can't really tell where I am. So I got stuck on like the floor for a few minutes there. See how like his thing shook like right there? It's because like the stage itself was shaking. Like I couldn't tell where I was going. Tentacles in Japan. Now you want to talk about weird things with Japan? I'm like, the last boss fight, I fought the last boss fight because this girl was like, hey, your boobs are bigger than mine. Therefore we fight. Like, they literally introduce each other and she's like, your boobs are huge. And I'm just like, yep, this is a good reason to fight. Such good motivation in this fighting game. And this is also, again, a unique brand of fun because I am not good at fighting games. So I do not have the reflexes nor like the skill for them. So like this could be a horrible fighting game. But I'm also just not good at fighting games anyway, so I think actually in bad fighting games I stand more of a chance. But I'm like, I've actually been doing okay on her story. Just because she's a kind of... Oh, he fell out of the ring. Alright. I'm fine taking a win by ring out. Fair enough, boobs are worthy of that, yes. I know, right? She'll be doing it to, I think, her final boss one, too. It's just funny that she has that, like, oh, I haven't been at this stage in a while. But yeah.
No matter who may challenge, my clan will not falter.
Yeah, so I have to get literally through, like, every other story mode in order to get the one guy I actually want to play as. But it's also, like one of those characters that, like, you know, I literally fell in love with, like, at, like, first sight. Like, I watched the intro to the game and I was like, yes, I need this. And so I found it on eBay the next day and then bought it. And again, I'm not good at fighting games, and I had never played Castlevania. Like, I knew what Castlevania was. You kind of can't be a gamer without knowing at least marginally what Castlevania is. Yeah, I was like, I think I just got hit by a giant fish. But, yeah, so I bought this game, and this was literally the first and only Castlevania game I've ever beaten. Much less actually even played. I've actually never played a Castlevania. I know, like, of Castlevania games, but I've never played a Castlevania game. This is the only Castlevania game I've ever played / beaten. So, like, therefore it must be the best, right? Because it's the only one I've ever played. And this one's like a like lower than Black Sheep for this franchise. So like it's the one that people don't even want to acknowledge exists. But I'm like, honestly, I have a lot of fun with this game. Like I get beaten up all over the place, but I'm like, I think the setting's cool, the music's good. Like the design of the characters I actually really dig. A lot of people said that they like were really horrible redesigns compared to what the characters had at the time, but again, when you have no knowledge of Castlevania going into this and you're just kind of going in blind and you're not good at fighting games, like, it's amazing. Oh, did I knock him out of the ring?
I can't believe it.
Nice. Then, you know, it's amazing how much more you can enjoy the game when you just are not trying to judge it on any standards besides, do the characters look cool? Yes. Can I button mash things? Also yes, you know? Oh, here it is.
Why, hello, sweetie pie. You'll make a nice little appetizer.
Even the vampires are bigger than mine.
What are you babbling about?
No way am I losing to you.
Classic line right there. Like, whenever people make fun of this game, they'll always bring up Maria's story because, again, her, like, 2 boss fights are about her, like, complaining that the other 2 women in the cast have bigger boobs than her, but I'm like, you know what? Is it stupid? Yes. But is it also kind of funny? Yes. I was about to say, like, even the vampires are bigger than mine. I'm like, literally facing a creature of the undead. But no, the first thing we gotta think about is the fact that her boobs are bigger. Which, to be fair, I mean, you know, in her whole dominatrix outfit, that it is kind of hard to notice anything else, but you like, it's just kind of funny that I'm like, yep, I love our reason for fighting right now is your boobs are bigger than mine. Best motivation a fighting game character ever had. Just have to get out of that whip attack is the one that she has that's kind of a pain in the butt. Come on, let me... Problem is I keep getting hit on the stage hazards. It's funny, actually, Maria has 2 boss fights in this stage. Normally they do like 1 per stage. Okay, I almost got her.
So adorable. I know. I'll let you be my servant.
Also, if there's any place to be super extra and over the top with details, it's a fighting game. Like, that's like the one thing where, like, you really, the only thing you care about is, like, you know, the fighting itself. So, like, honestly, if there's ever a time to go crazy with the redesigns, it was this kind of game. Better this game than, like, an actual mainline game, right? Like, that's why they called them spin-offs. That's why I think a lot of people just give this game way too much flack. Like, it's a little harmless game that really doesn't do anything horrible. How did she has no HP left! How the heck did she win that one?
I'll let you be my servant.
Okay, let's try this again. We both got hit by the spikes there. Honestly, I feel like I'm getting killed more on the stage hazards than I am actually from her. It's more like I'm trying to dodge around these spikes and this giant axe blade than I am actually trying to dodge her. I can never land the special moves for these characters because I just don't know where like the reticule I have to hit in order to. Because like obviously when you have a special move, you have to do it without being like interrupted before the move goes off, or you have to land it properly. Like you know how like you use the final smash. I'm like I don't know where the aiming reticule is, like because every character is different. Like not all of them you have to like. I don't know how I just did that, but I've never done that one before. Again, she has no HP and somehow she's still alive.
So adorable. I know.
I think she's cheating at this point. It's like the third time I've, like, died to her while she has no HP. The issue is that, like, her attacks have a lot of airtime, so I'm like, I don't know how to, like, sometimes I'm just stuck floating in the air, like, waiting to come down for my attack. I'm just like, this is probably just because I'm not good at fighting games. I'm missing something else, like, you know, you need to do this combo or whatever, you know, like... Because again, whenever I fight Maria, she's a pain in the butt to fight. But here I am fighting with her, and I'm, like, struggling. Although I have yeah, I couldn't get up fast enough to get out of the way of the spikes. Yeah, I know, Carmela. But, like, I've actually been doing better, like, you know, in this playthrough more than others, but, like, it's still, don't feel like I'm doing this quite right. Just because, kind of like Grant, she has a lot of movement, so, like, she's kind of, like, hard to pin down. Okay, did I actually kill her that time? Alright. I finally won that one.
I accept the soul key. 8 yet remain.
Yeah. 8 more. Oh my gosh, this is going to take so long. But I will do it. So that I might play with you. Alright, where are we on time? Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'll ask, does anyone want... What should I do here? Should I play through another story mode, or should we call it here? I just I have Golem. I just did. I unlocked him last, and I have Eric over here. I believe he's actually supposed to be like a friend of Maria's. This is like this little posh kid with his giant lance, which I think is just very funny. Finished hers, so I have him. I remember, is a pretty fun character to use just because he has a long reach with his weapon. And I have Golem over here. What do you think? Should I... It is 10 o'clock. Should I just call it there? Or should I try and do another, like, story mode? Anyone in the comments free to answer, but... Let me see where I'm at for my recording. We're at about 2 hours. I guess now I'll call it here for tonight. It won't go on too long, and then I'll try and do another stream maybe on Thursday. Thursday, maybe Wednesday. Because, you know, it's almost 10 o'clock already. And I've gotten 2 stories done. And I got 2 new characters to use next time, which I think are both, you know, going to be good ones to use. So, yeah. I think I'll end there. We only got through 2 stories tonight, but, you know, that's fine. I also started a little later. And I'll come back next time, try and get through a couple more stories. Although I suppose let me actually, before, I won't start a new story mode, but let me do something that I actually did start doing last time. I'm going to, before I officially come off, I'm going to actually do my cooldown activity, essentially. I started doing the castle mode here last time. I'm going to try and do that again. So in this one, I have pretty much all the characters unlocked except for 2, which I need to do for challenge modes. But I actually already have A unlocked in this one, so I'm gonna try and do castle mode again.
It is time to fight.
Man, you look so cool. What a cool looking outfit. Fortunately, he only exists in this game, so I'm like, I can't even get like other, like, if I wanted to, I couldn't even get like fan art of him or anything. Oh, I forgot you can get ambushed in this mode. Well.
In this place, I too am able to fight.
Ready? Fight!
Actually, the harder part about this stage is actually just not falling off the edge. Because the stage is constantly moving, so actually the bigger issue in this stage I always find is actually just not falling off the edge. Especially when you have characters that have like a long reach. Like his basic attack has a very long reach. So like the biggest issue I usually have is trying to get off the edge.
Right on time. This moment was preordained.
Like he has such a cool outfit, come on. I guess let's try this one. Knock your enemy out of the ring. Alright, I guess. I have to remember how to do his other attacks.
Mend the fabric of time. I ask you meet me in combat.
One day man shall look to dawn, without need to fear the darkness.
Ready? Fight!
Sorry, I forgot how do you do his other one. I have to do it in midair, that's why it was. That's why I couldn't remember. I have to do it in the air. Alright. Okay, I got close that time.
Right on time. This moment was preordained.
We're gonna save. We'll do one more.
In this place, I too am able to fight.
Ready? Fight!
Like, everything about this guy's playstyle I just think is really cool. Like, we need more time-themed characters. And I also just like the fact that, like, you know, even when he's not in his attacking pose, he's always like standing completely up straight. I like the fact the way they incorporate his weapon into like an actual sword, kind of. It's pretty cool.
Right on time. This moment was preordained.
Okay, go up there, so let's try down here. I remember trying this one before, and I got stuck on it because because you need the sub-weapons for it. Let me try it again. If I lose on it again, that'll be a good place to stop for tonight. I lost in this one last time because I ran out of items.
Well now, what have we here? Two of us cannot be allowed to exist at once.
That's just funny. Need to get an item. I don't have an item yet. There we go.
Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. I to win and a time to lose.
Okay.
Time was on the verge of being destroyed.
It's not a hard challenge to do. I just lost it last time because I ran out of items. I'm gonna try this one. See how difficult it is. Alright.
To mend the fabric of time, I ask you to meet me in combat.
Ready? Fight!
I really hate these things shoot fireballs because that's just kind of annoying.
I'm over here.
I need to remember how to do his special.
I cannot allow that, which would disrupt the flow of time.
I have to look it up again. I don't remember. Because his kit's actually kind of interesting. It actually changes depending on how long the match goes on, which again makes sense for a time-themed character. But like, his attacks actually will change over time. You know, based on like how much guard he has and stuff. That's why his like pocket watch changes color throughout the fight. Like he'll have a different special move depending on where he is in the fight and how much time has gone on, and therefore which position his clock is at, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that was pretty good for me. I just wanted to get a little time in. That's as far as I'm gonna go for right now. I just like doing a little bit in this mode after like the frustration of trying to go through all the like, not even frustration, just kind of monotony at times going through the other character modes when I don't really know what I'm doing. You got a character you like, you're willing to go and like just play them for a while even if you suck at it. So, I think I'll do that each time. When I go through the character modes, I'll go through the character story modes, which is usually a little bit of a grind, then I'll come back over to this file and work on the castle mode. Because then I can play with Aeon, and he's my favorite. So anyway, I think I will now officially end here. I don't always like leaving off on a bad note. So, not necessarily a bad note, but maybe more a dull note. So, yeah, think I'll stop now here for the night. I had gotta do like at least 15 minutes or so of fun with him. I really enjoy him. He's a pretty cool character. But I'll see if I can maybe do another stream on Thursday. Maybe Friday. If not, I'll be here next Tuesday. Again, I'm in my final weeks of my online class right now. So, I've been essentially focusing on that a lot. But then once that's over with, I might be able to go back to, like Madeline says, summer's coming. We would love to go back to streaming at least twice a week. There was a point, like, when I wasn't doing classes, I was able to do it almost, like, 3 or 4 times a week. Like, do some crochet streams and video game streams and stuff like that. And I want to do more of those, because even if it is just, me out there, like, being the, like, background noise for someone working on an essay or my mom sewing downstairs, like, I enjoy doing that. So, I sometimes just like talking to the void, So, hopefully in the next coming weeks, I'll be able to do more than one stream a week. But, for right now, I will try and do Tuesdays. Soon Tuesdays, anywhere in the evening, probably. But, like, I'll try and be here on Tuesdays. most likely playing video games. If I can manage anything else, it'll probably be a crochet stream at some other time of the day. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do more soon. As always, I would love, anyone wants to send me recommendations and stuff like that. Yeah, everyone watching my past recordings, those are all on, Cozy Gamers YouTube channel. Has the same icon as this one, our little dragon dude. Feel free to go check those out. And thanks for everyone for hanging out with me. I'm enjoying this game. I will probably go play it again soon. It's kind of good, dumb fun, in my opinion. So I think it's time for me to log out. And good night, good day, good morning, whatever it is, whatever time zone you happen to be in.